come to the practice. It will be a practice of kind of inner healing. We'll look at a few opposites at the same time to assist us with that. What we might need for today's practice, it could be a block. I will straight away place that onto my mat. And then you might also choose to have a strap nearby. The strap is also for assistance with the shoulders. Neither the strap nor the block are essential today, but if you have alternatives, if you don't have the original yoga props, that's fine too. Scarf will do, anything that lengthens your arms basically. A belt, there won't be too much pressure on it, so a scarf is very much suitable as well. I will place that down to the side for now, and when you're ready, we could start in a seated position on the block or on the mat, on a cushion, whatever you choose to sit upon. I've chosen a Sukhasana or easy posture, where I've placed one leg in front of the other, and that is up to your comfort or bodily habits to decide which leg that might be. Resting your hands down comfortably. If you can close the eyes, or you might choose to steady the gaze instead. And as we often do, creating a bit of random movement through the body to figure out what is actually going on within the body. Only the movement might allow you to eventually center yourself as well on your mat. Once you have centered yourself, I suggest a deep inhalation to raise your arms and to touch the palms as you breathe out and place them down in front of heart center. Leave the shoulders relaxed. And we'll begin our practice with the chant of 3 Oms, a universal sound. We will begin with an in-breath. Allowing vibrations to stay with you, while bringing the backs of the hands to rest into your lap or upon your thighs. And on each hand now, folding in your ring finger into the palm of the hand and touching your thumb over the ring finger. So we do that on both of our hands. You can leave the hands resting down. So it's the ring finger folding into the palm and the thumb over the top of that. So it's holding basically the ring finger into the palm of the hand. Quite unusual when we think usually we're touching the fingertips together, but there the purpose is also to touch to the palm. As you feel into the hand position and a potential shift in the energies here, this is Kartari Mudra. A mudra that will assist us for now with deepening our breath. For the breathing practice, if that feels right, and please never strain or stress around any yogic practice, including pranayama or breathing exercises. If it's not possible for you to do all the components of this breathing technique, skip the ones that don't serve you and maybe just return to deep breathing. If you feel you would like to join in, breathe in fully through the nose. Once the lungs are full, hold the breath for a while within your body. And then breathe out through pursed lips. As if you're pushing the air out of a straw. Then inhale again through the nose, filling up your lungs, containing the breath within the body. And breathing out again like through a straw. Continue that for a few rounds. In through the nose. A hold at the end of a full inhalation. And then exhaling through the pursed lips, like you were pushing the air out of a straw. So it's quite a forceful exhalation. It's a good training for the diaphragm. Hence we continue for a few more rounds. Practice for one more round. And then resting the breath as you continue breathing naturally. Noticing if you experience any changes or differences. Releasing the mudra for now and moving your fingers. Then touch the palms of your hands together in front of you and rub the palms to create some heat. Unless you're in a nice warm environment, then you can skip that. And with the inhalation, covering your eyes with the warm hands. And you could then choose to gently massage your space around the eyes. And then take a couple of fingers to the temples and create a circular massage around the temples. Changing the circle's directions. And then take these very same fingers down to the joint of your jaw and massaging that joint. Doesn't have to be circular. Just notice what you need there, if there's any tension. And then taking your hands, like the palms of the hands, around your neck. And just gently swiping down the neck towards the center chest. And you can do so a few times, just slowly sliding down to the center of the chest. And once again. Then release your fingertips down to either side of you. We've been sitting in this same cross of legs for a while. If it is right for you, please change the cross of the legs. Raising one arm as you inhale. And side bending on the exhale. Please soften into the arm you're leaning towards. And only as an option, coming a little bit out on the inhalation and deepening on the exhalation. Keep making sure that you're leaning towards a soft arm that encourages a deeper side bend. If the moving in and out is not for you, there's always the option of holding the side bend steady as well. Let's roll arm, shoulder in and also around the back, releasing this hand by the side and curling back up to sit. On the inhale now, extending the left arm up, and with the out breath, repeating the side bend to the other side. Again, please make sure that the arm you're leaning towards remains soft, that you're moving with your breath, so the inhalation lightly out, the exhalation to deepen, and creating that little movement to extend beyond a steady hold, deepening the movement and slide and glide effects in your connective tissue. And then the same here, rolling your arm and shoulder in and down. And this time sliding your fingertips behind the back. You can lean lightly into the fingertips, lifting your heart, giving your shoulders a little squeeze backwards. And if your neck is a happy one today, you can start drawing the chin forward and then guiding the head backwards. Taking a deep full breath over the front body in this back bend while you actively lift your heart. On the next out breath now, rounding your lower back, then the rest of the spine, the head will follow. Bring your hands out in front and walk them or slide them forward as you might choose to rest this in a forward fold. You can, if you have chosen to sit on something, remove that from underneath and returning onto the mat. If it is okay for you to roll over your ankles, you can do so. If not, please sit up and swing your feet out towards the side. Now, if you're in a cooler environment and you still have your socks on, this is a good time to remove the socks. Placing your knees down hip distance, the hands are down at shoulder distance. We'll practice only 3 rounds of cat and cow or Vidalasana. As you inhale, soften the elbows, lift the tail and your gaze, extend the front body. And with the out breath, then straightening the arms, rounding the back into the cat. Inhaling, soft elbows, tail, gaze are lifting. Exhaling, rounding into the cat. And one more. Releasing that into a neutral spine in your all-four stance. Tucking the right side toes under. As you breathe in, let the foot slide out long on the mat. And then breathe out and lower your right heel. Left foot can swing a little bit across. And on the in-breath, then raising your right arm up, finding a supported side plank. And then placing the back of your right hand to the side of the waist. On the inhale, draw your right shoulder to your right ear. And on the out breath, roll the shoulder back and down, and your hand might just slide behind the back for a half bind. If that prompts you to look up, you can have a little chin tuck there. But gaze could be anywhere, depending on the condition of your neck in this point of time. With your next inhalation, let your right arm extend upwards again. And with the out breath, landing your hand down and bringing your knee back down to the mat. Let's keep the knees at hip distance and curl up through the spine to stand upon the knees. On the inhale, then raising your arms up. And with the exhale, circle the arms out and place the backs of the hands again into the side of the waist, leaving your shoulders relaxed. If you like, you can close the eyes and acknowledge that sometimes we have things weighing down our shoulders. Other times the shoulders feel quite light and easy. But there's oftentimes things that we carry on our shoulders. So once you have acknowledged that that may or may not be the case, we start shrugging it all off. As you inhale, lift your shoulders to your ears. And as you breathe out, roll the shoulders back and down. And at that time, the hands are sliding in together. And you can interlace the hands there. And then lengthen your arms down the back or even away from the back. So you can lift the sternum again. Maybe the chin is pointing up towards the ceiling. You've got a light squeeze of the buttocks and the lower abs for this camel variation. Taking a deep breath in over the front of the body. And as you're exhaling, bending the hips, letting your hips sink to the heels. As the torso starts leaning forward, draw the chin in towards the throat, and then aim to touch down with the head close to your knees. If this is too low, you can stay at halfway point. On an inhale, the hips might lift up away from the heels, arms might lift, and you're resting in rabbit on the top of the head. Arms can also stay rested on the back if that's better for your shoulders. On your next out breath, let the buttocks sink back to the heels and your arms rest in a child's pose so that the shoulders are dropping down and everything that weighs you down is just falling off the shoulders and off your back. Beginning to extend the arms to the front side of the mat and the spread of your fingers there to ground the hands. And with the inhale, raise the hips again away from the heels. You might have changed the distance between the knees if you did adjust it back to hip distance. Tucking the left side toes under. On the inhalation, extend the left leg out on the mat. On the exhale, landing the left heel and the right foot might swing lightly across. On your next inhalation, lifting your left arm. Placing the back of the left hand to the side of the waist. And as you inhale, shrug the shoulder to the ear. And on the exhale, rolling the shoulder down and maybe the arm slides behind the back in towards a half bind. Next inhalation, extend the arm again upwards. On the out breath, let the hand land down, place the knee back down at hip distance, and then round up through the spine again to stand upon the knees. On the inhale, lifting the arms up. On the exhale, circle the arms down, and again place the backs of the hands into the side of the waist and let your shoulders be at ease. Breathing in to lift shoulders to ears. And breathing out to roll them back and down as you slide your hands back in together. Change the finger you had on top and let your arms lengthen down or away from your back. With the inhalation, lift the sternum more and maybe the chin comes up. Arms either resting, like for myself, or lifted away from the back. Get a light squeeze into the buttocks and lower belly muscles. And then breathe over the front of the body into the extension. With the following out breaths, bending your hips to lean the hips back to the heels. Upper body starts leaning forward, head comes in, tucking the chin in, same option, stay halfway point, or lower the head down right in front of your knee. Lifting the hips up as you roll to the top of the head, arms may be rested or risen away from the back. Stimulating the blood flow again into the head in a rabbit posture, Sasangasana. On the next exhale, sit buttocks to heels, release arms by your sides and drop back into child's pose. As if that posture could solve all of the issues, everything just falling away from you, sheltered and inwardly oriented. It is that inner space in which we can find our harmony and balance, which ultimately leads to inner well-being and healing. Extending the arms again towards the front side of the mat with the fingers spread out. On the next inhalation, lifting again onto all fours. Tucking the toes under if that suits you. And with the out breath then raising the knees away from the mat for a downward dog. And you can encourage by bending one knee, the other heel toward the mat. And come into a little pedal of the legs. And using that movement then to walk your feet towards the front end of the mat. Let your hands slide up to shins. Use the pressure of the fingers into the shins to straighten your back on the in-breath. And then folding all the way back down on the out-breath. Stepping your right foot back into a lunge. If the lunge is too high, you can place the back knee to the mat. We will soften everything as collapsing the lunge on the inhale and then rolling up the spine on the exhale. Lifting the arms on the in-breath if you manage to find your balance. And then on the out-breath, circle the arms around again. Place the backs of your hands into the side of the waist. Let the shoulders be at ease. We are showing our issues a bit of an attitude here as we stand there like this. On the inhale, let's lift the shoulders. On the exhale, shrugging them back and down and find your natural interlace behind your back. As you draw the arms down the back or away from it, begin to lift the heart, maybe the chin. So careful that the head is not leaning back in this posture. And you might encourage a light bend in your right knee. Inhale. On the exhalation, extending the back leg, leaning the spine forward. You may keep your arms lifted away from the back if that works for you. You may also simply stay here in this lunge. If you choose to stay, it's the left side of the hip that comes slightly back to realign with the right. If you would like to balance, shift the weight to the front leg and lift the back leg. As you flex the foot, you're aiming for a warrior 3. Landing your right foot next to your left, releasing the interlace and turning the palms of the hands to face forward. On the next inhalation, lifting the arms again. And the gaze, touch the palms and then soften your knees on the out breath, folding down back into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. You could bring your fingertips against the shins again, lengthening your back forward on the in-breath. And as you place the hands down and exhale, your left foot steps back. Same option, you may place the knee down onto the floor if you like. And then collapsing the lunge while you breathe in and rolling up through the spine to raise the torso. Then breathe in to lift the arms. And on the out breath again, circle the arms around and place the backs of the hands again into the side of the waist. Do show your issues a little bit of an attitude. As we breathe in, the shoulders are rising to ears. And with the out breaths, we're rolling them back and down. As you interlace the hands now, change the interlace while you lengthen the arms down or away from your back. Lift your heart again, your chin, and allow a subtle bend in the left leg to help you lift and avoid hanging in the lower back. Taking a breath over the front body now. When you next exhale, start to straighten the back leg, while at the same time the torso leans forward. Arms again can be rested or risen away from the back. If you choose to stay here, draw the right side of the pelvis in line with the left. Only as an option, launching the weight forward and then lifting the back leg off the floor with a flexion of the foot for another warrior 3. Keeping your toes and gaze pointing down. On the out breath, land the foot next to the other. Release again the interlace and roll the palms of the hands to face open. You might choose to stand in the mountain for a few breaths. If you're unsure how your feet are positioned, have a little look down, allowing outer edges of feet to remain parallel as you find length through the whole body. The awareness now drawn away from any issues that we keep shrugging off our shoulders and into that we enjoy, that we have in our lives, as we turn the awareness to gratitude. And this gratitude could be as simple as having the ability to stand on this mat, or it could be more deeper sitting gratitude. Making your choice. With the next inhalation, then lifting the arms up towards the ceiling again. On the out breath now, come into a chair pose, bending knees and hips. Your arms can be extended all the way around the ears. And if that feels like a burden on the shoulders, lower the arms and even turn the palms upwards, which is what I will choose to do. My arms are about heart height. Yet the weight sits over the whole soles of the feet quite strongly. The lower tummy muscles are on, which allows me to let the sitting bones be open without losing connection to my lower back. And in this chair pose, inhale. As you exhale, bring the palms of the hands to touch and twist the chair to the right. If it's possible, your elbow can land on the thigh or the outside of the knee. Now have a look down at the knees and keep those in line with each other. As you find your stance there, you get a feeling the knees are parallel, so is then the pelvis steady and centered. If you find this is easy to breathe through, you may take your next inhalation to open your arms, one pointing up, one pointing down. Now bring the palms of the hands to touch again. You can also choose to place your hands to the floor or to the thigh, while we step the right foot back. And you may even lower the heel down for a bit more stability. If you came out of the twist, you might attempt the twist again. While we release the hands, round up through the spine into standing. You may straighten the front leg to give it a break. And as you inhale, lifting the arms up again. Now bring a bend into the front knee, circle your arms out and place the backs of the hands into the side of the waist. Take a look forward so your knee is aligning with the toes. Shoulders are at ease, and you now know where this is going. a shrug as you raise the shoulders up, breathing. Then roll them back and down. Find your natural interlace behind your back and lengthen the arms. Then lift your heart and your chin. Arms may lift away from the back if your shoulders are happy. Again, we breathe in over the front of the body, so lots of back bending. And with the out breath then, a humble warrior, as you may lean down to the inside of the leg, release the head, maybe raise the arms. If you find this is too strong, you can place the back knee to the mat and still be in the same posture. And let your arms release all the way onto the mat. Let's all bring the back knee down to the floor. Come up onto the fingertips of your right hand and take a breath in to raise the left arm. So we're changing a bit the dynamic of a twisted lunge. If you find this is too easy, you can always lift the back knee again away from the ground. But with the hand being just touching with the fingertips, you might find that if you draw the left hip back, you've got ultimate support there. And maybe your gaze is upwards or out towards the side. Let's release. The hand coming towards the mat. Let's spread the fingers out onto the floor. Step the other knee back or come into a downward facing dog. We will roll the spine forward on the next inhale, finding a plank or a kneeling plank. And on the exhale, lower down onto the front of the body. Releasing the arms alongside the body. And I would ask you to keep the arms separate for this round. While you could touch the palms down towards the mat. With an inhale, there's the option of raising the legs, lifting the upper body and the arms. And you could fly here, keeping the palms facing down. As you hold, notice the shifts and changes that arise within your breathing pattern. One more breath to fly a bit higher. And then release the body down. Turn the palms of the hands up. Rest one ear to the mat. Bring the big toes together and let your heels roll out. There's a wiggle possible around the pelvis if that feels good. As the breath slows back down, returns to its natural pace, start to separate your feet again. Place your hands down flat by the sides of your ribs, center the head. Inhale, come up onto all fours. If that's possible, tuck the toes and the downward dog. Only to walk the feet all the way towards the top end of the mat. Finding a half lift here as hands might support against the shins. And then an out breath to bow back down. Bend your knees deeply and then reach the arms straight forward into another chair pose as you inhale and deepen the seat of the chair pose as you exhale. So your arms are in choices again. If you can have them extended, do so. But they might be lower than around the ears, and maybe the palms are even facing upward for you to support any tension in the shoulders. Let your sitting bones be wide, lower tummy active to support, the gaze lightly forward and front. Inhale. With the exhale, touching the palms and twisting your chair to the left. While your elbow may land on the thigh or the outside of the knee, have a look back at both knees. Keeping your knees at the same height as you're twisting. As you hold your twist, you may inhale and open the arms out wide, one up and one down. Then touching the palms of the hands together again. If you require any help, you might choose to bring the hands down to the ground. And then stepping the other foot back as you ground through the heel of the foot, remaining within your twist. Then releasing the hands and then out best to round up through the spine. You can use the hand on the thigh. You might choose to straighten the leg to release the weight, and then in breath to open up the arms to the ceiling. And with the out breath, bring a bend into the front knee and rest the backs of the hands to the side of the waist. Taking a look forward, aligning knees with toes. And with the inhale, lifting the shoulders to the ears. And when you breathe out, roll the shoulders down, let the hands come into that awkward interlace. Lengthen the arms down away from the back and begin to lift your sternum. And maybe the chin comes up. Allowing yourself to be open and breathing over the front body. And with the next exhalation, leaning downwards to complete a humble warrior. With arms resting or lifted, with knee on or off the mat of the back leg. Always active in the outer edge of the back foot. And then releasing the hands down, raising the back heel if you are standing and touching the knee down. Placing your fingertips down onto the mat. And then inhale as you turn towards the knee, lifting the arm. Reining in gently the hip where the leg is in front. And we'll let the arm just swing back and down, placing the hand back onto the mat, stepping your knee back as we find our all fours. And an option to tuck the toes under, to lift the knees for one more downward facing dog. As you inhale, roll the spine forward, coming into a plank or kneeling plank. And then a breath out to lower down onto the front of the body again. Placing the forehead down and lengthening the arms down by the sides. You could choose in this round to leave the palms facing up or turn the palms down again if you create or want to create more space in the front of the chest. With the inhale, raising legs, head and chest and the arms. If you've turned the palms down again, see if you can extend your thumbs upward as you hold there and breathe again. Nothing else to do but breathing in and out. Thumbs might be lifted if the palms are down, or your palms are facing up at this point. One more breath. And at the end of the exhalation, lowering back down onto the mat, turning your head the other way, palms of the hands facing up for softer shoulders. And if that gave you necessary relief, touch big toes, heels roll out, and maybe the pelvic wiggle comes back into play. And then allow yourself a moment of rest. where you explore if there's still tension around your shoulders and the beating of the heart into the mat. Then separating the feet again, centering the head again. And now placing the hands down flat by the sides of the ribs once more. And with the next inhale, lift up onto all fours. And then exhale as you sit back towards the heels in a gentle halfway child's pose. Taking the block from the side of the mat as well as the strap, we will use that block again to sit on. So I will place it behind me and then sit on the block, but I will step my feet out in front of me. And you might choose to do the same. A light elevation, whether you have a block or a cushion there, might assist the accessibility of this shape. Taking your left hand now underneath the left leg and reaching for the right ankle. Then draw the right foot underneath. You could leave the knee dropped open to the side, or you could slide the foot all the way by the side of your block or hip. It would be okay to leave the left foot stepped onto the mat, or you could reach with the opposite hand to the left ankle and help the foot to the outside of the hip on the other side. Now take the end of the strap into your left hand. On the inhalation, lifting your arm up. Holding here, shoulders soft, arm and spine is long, and that is including the neck vertebrae. Maintaining that for the exhale as you bend your elbow. It doesn't matter where your hand is reaching, just keep the head upright. Then take the right hand to reach behind, maybe find the strap. As you can see in my demonstration, this hasn't got to be close. If you can easily bind, you might do so, however, hold on to your fingers. As we keep ourselves within this shape here, you might choose to close your eyes, noticing the posture in which you are and how this feels for yourself. If you feel you want more extension in the left side, your next out breath gets you into a side bend to the right. That might increase extension around shoulder, arm, but also the side body. Inhale then, release, and as you breathe out, let even the strap come down together with your arms. Your top leg is your left one. Let's extend that out in front, and then slide the other leg out as well. So your knee is opening to the side. If you can't do that, that's okay. You could have both legs long. I will, for the forward fold, remove the block. I find this easier. If you need any support, you could keep the block there or roll up the end of your mat. Now place your fingertips down onto the ground. Lift the left side of the buttocks and draw the leg lightly inwards. Then bend the knee. And with the next exhalation, leaning your belly to your thigh. Then lowering the head towards the knee and then adjusting the arm placement. The only thing really important is the flexion of the left foot, because that is aligning the leg. Even if your knees stay bent for the whole hold in this shape, you might feel that extension in the back of the leg. And to get deeper into that, use a long, slow out breath. Lengthening the out breath more as you stay. And place the hands down either side of your leg, lifting halfway up on the in-breath and using inner strength to breathe out and come to sit. Take the palm of your right hand and place that firmly down onto the mat behind you. Take a swing of the left arm and reach it over the head, pointing out through the left toes. On the exhale, swing your arm down to the other side, touch the fingertips down and follow the hand with the gaze into a subtle twist. We will repeat that, but there's an option of lifting the hips as you inhale. And with the exhale, landing again, touching fingertips down. Please note when I say option, I actually mean that. You could stay seated instead. On the inhale, swing your arm up. On the exhale, sit back down, following it with the gaze. Now you may slide that left hand straight behind your back and assist your right knee to come up. So you can place the right foot down firmly onto the mat. There's a gap now between the foot and your extended leg, and the right arm comes between those legs with the fingertips pointed down. Now use your foot and all the fingertips to lengthen on the in-breath, and then use your leg into your arm into your leg on the out-breath to turn to an open twist. And then stay there for a few breaths. If it feels better to pistol grip your right big toe, you could do so with the hand by still moving knee into arm, arm into knee. Then release as you turn the head forward. And while you let your knee fall gently out, find Kartari Mudra again. That is where we fold our ring finger into the palm and touch the thumb on top. And you can then take that arm underneath the right leg. You might choose to bring the left foot in as well. Repeat the mudra with the left hand and take the arm underneath. And this might be enough for you, just lengthening through the spine. If knee opening isn't yours, you can also do that with the knees lifted. So there's no obligation to wrap the arms underneath. If you feel this is comfortable enough, you can raise the feet away from the mat, touch the heels and open the soles of the feet. The remaining fingers not engaged in touching are extended as well. Your spine is long. And this is the lotus flower posture. So you might allow a subtle smile to creep up on your lips. Very gently, spreading in with the balance and happiness. To release, if your feet were lifted, set them back down. Let the hands come to shins or knees and lengthen the spine again. I will bring the block back in. I find it incredibly helpful for the cow face pose. So pop that back underneath the buttocks and place my feet again onto the mat. We will now use the right hand and reach under the right leg to grab the left ankle. You can then help the foot under the leg to allow your knee to be rather open, or you can help the knee to align in the center with the foot coming to the outside of the block. Same options here. You might choose to place the foot down for better support, or you can take a hold of the ankle with the opposite hand and guide the foot to the outside of block or hip on the other side. Now we'll use the strap again. This time we'll place one end of the strap into the right hand. With the inhalation, raising the right arm. Let your shoulder be at ease, your gaze naturally forward, or maybe even closing the eyes if you trust my words. Maintaining length in the spine right up to all the neck vertebrae. And then bending the right elbow to place the hand somewhere with ease behind, maintaining the length in your back. You could also reach with the left hand behind to take a hold of the strap. Again, you could crawl the hands in closer or even hold onto your fingers for a bind, while maintaining the length in the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. Hold here. With or without the eyes open, there's an inward focus, an acknowledgement of the assistance of this pose with daily male practice of sitting. If you prefer a length in the side body, on your next exhale, lean to your left. You might experience that also as an extension into the shoulders, a deeper extension into parts of your right arm. Breathing in as you lift and breathing out to release. We won't need the strap anymore. You can place that away from your mat. The top leg, let that come out long in front, and let the other leg open to the side, or both legs extend again. I have removed my block once more. I place the fingertips down and then lift the right side of the buttocks just to draw the right leg gently into the hip socket. Keep a flexion within the right foot, but bending the right knee to start with. Breathing in. On the out breath, let your belly align over the thigh, then the head to lower towards the knee, and you might then adjust your arms forward. Same here, most important, an active flexion here of the right foot, so the toes are pointing up for the direction of the stretch into the back of the leg. The knee can be straightened if that's within you, but it gets the same effect if the knee is bent. So allowing yourself now once more to lengthen the out breath. As you experience the lengthening of the out breath, you might also feel a slight release deeper into this forward fold. Stay with the breath, longer exhalations, and the sensations you experience for a little while. And place the hands back down onto the mat. On the inhale, lengthen your spine forward. And then on the out breath, returning into a seated position. Now take the palm of your left hand and place that firmly down behind you. And while you breathe in, point your right foot and swing your right arm up, maybe lifting the gaze. With the out breath, then swing the arm all the way across. Follow the hand with the gaze and tap the fingertips down in a light twist. Extension option to raise the hips up as you breathe in. But then the movement stays the same as you land and touch the fingertips down. Repeat for a last round, breathing in. And exhaling to land. Once you have landed, slide your right hand fingertips behind. Guide your knee up and plant your foot down onto the mat. The flexion here of the knee is not so important, but the distance between the foot and the extended leg is. Extending your left arm between the legs, and the fingertips might also touch the floor. While we use fingertips and the foot to breathe in and lengthen the spine, we then use leg and arm against each other to assist us in the twist. And if you had a pistol grip on the other side, you might apply that here too. But maintain that pressure between the bent knee and your arm against each other to help with the twist. Eyes may be open or closed, breathing smoothly. Next inhalation, turning your head to the front and letting the knee gently fall out if that is within you. Now, please have a little look back so you can find out that there's plenty of space to lean towards, politely sit. You might choose to bring your hands back into Kartari Mudra with your ring finger folding in, the thumb resting over the top, and you could slide that underneath the leg. The same option here. If that is too much for the hips, just keep the knee upwards, the arm on the outside of the leg. And you could choose to do that on both legs, and maybe the feet will lift. Whether you hold your arms under or by the side of the leg isn't important here. If you're with me all together, keep your heels touching, open the soles of the feet, engage in spreading of toes and fingers that aren't touching, and maintain a bit of length in your spine. Inhale. And with your out breath, start to round your back, release the mudra. And as you roll down, raising your feet. You might choose to take a grip at the outer edges of the feet or hold onto the backs of the thighs as you draw your knees down outside of your shoulders for Happy Baby or Ananda Balasana. And you could gently rock the body for a little while from side to side. As you release your feet back down onto the mat, the arms will fall open. Step your feet out to about mat distance and let the knees just drop in for the moment. This is a choice as a resting posture. However, if you've got a bolster there, you might place that underneath the knees instead of constructive rest. If there's nothing happening in your lower back today, you could also extend both legs long and let the toes fall outwards. If you have chosen to place your arms alongside the body, bring the ring finger back in and touch the thumb again on top, leaving your shoulders soft and maybe covering yourself. Eye pillows are nice, and allowing the body to settle in. As you come to Shavasana or relaxation, I'd encourage you to once more reflect not only on the positioning of your hands, but also on that you were holding or still are holding heavily on the shoulders. And then turning the attention again to the other parts of your experience, the opposite, where there might be a bit of happiness there, or simply balance created through the opposite. While your breath flows effortlessly in and out of the nose, you could come to an understanding that on one side, you might be holding a bit of heaviness, tamasic quality. While on the other side, you're holding the energy, outbursts of energy maybe, but more rajasic states. And if you then combine these two right within your center, you might come to the understanding of deeper balance and harmony as the opposing sides balance each other out. And it might provide you with a sense of inner balance and harmony or sattvic quality. If that resonates with you, you could imagine to bask in that white, balanced energy, and the white light filling you completely. The card that appeared for the practice today is from the Goddess and Sirens deck. And it is the Goddess Bridget that came up, and her theme is healing. It says here, your time of healing is here. It's very much matching our topic today. Past hurts will recede. Be inspired to create. This in itself is healing. It is your birthright to create. When Bridget appears in your life to heal you and offer her method, is through inspiring you. Her energy is powerful, encouraging, and effective. She encourages the full expression of appropriate emotion and the creative spirit. It is said that no one who suffers and offers their trust to Bridget is disappointed, and she always compassionately does her best to assist. If you feel purposeless or you lack inspiration of any kind, connect to St. Bridget. You might choose to extend your hands into the pool of white light that you created for yourself. And then use the hands with the white light to cleanse yourself of any leftover burdens you might carry, of any excessive energy you might be holding. Directing your energy to a particular part of your being that requires a healing right now. And imagine a green light appear. And you might call upon Bridget to heal you through the power of the land and turn the energy of fire. Ask for growth and healing to begin. Then thank Bridget, knowing that you will be lighting the way, and that profound healing has begun. taking her blessing with you as you release back into your relaxed body with the gentle flow of each breath effortlessly through the nostrils. Let your hands relax if they haven't quite yet. Begin to deepen your breathing as you start to move through the fingers. And maybe extending your breath and extending your movements. Before joining me in a seated position as you come ready. And as we join together in a seated pose, take a breath in and gather some of the white light. And breathe out as you draw it down and turn it into the green light, reciting in heart center as you touch the palms and the thumbs to the sternum. We complete with one chant of Om as we inhale together. As we bow and humble ourselves while extending to each other. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me. I will